Hello everyone and welcome back to this build. This is day 23, I believe. I'm already losing count very fast. That's not a good sign, but luckily I remembered quickly. Today I finished an HVAC system. It probably took me about a few hours to find a good design, because a lot of them, like the ones you see on top of buildings, were very complicated and required a lot of parts. But luckily I found pictures that showed how to more the innards and stuff and how to make them. So I made a very simplistic one today, so that way tomorrow I can add the details or the final details to it, and then move on to the final room for the roof, and finally move on to adding extra details to the rest of the level, and then the world outside, and finally moving on to coding and see what we can do for this. Anyway, let's move on into the daytime walkthrough. The HVAC system I made does not have any textures right now, so I apologize if it's a little bit too bright for people. Ooh. It was starting to lose some frames, but it only does that when I'm recording, so it's nothing too bad. Anyway, right here is the HVAC system. It's very hard to tell because of the gigantic freaking size, but I wanted it to be giant on purpose. I wanted this to look like a mega one. Like this company needed a mega one because of their servers and stuff. But basically how this is going to work is I'm going to use these giant things as a way to block your view, so you don't know what's on the other side. Because remember, ain't no jumping going to be in this game. So you're not going to be able to do this and be like, oh, I'll just go that way. So the HVACs are going to be a sort of maze. So I decided to make tiny little paths, make it look a little bit like you're going to get lost, but if you keep trying, you'll eventually get there. It's a very simple maze. I don't want it to be like the hardest thing on the planet. It'll lead on into this room, which, again, I don't know what I want to do with this room yet. That'll be for a future video in a few days, most likely. I'll think of what I can do for this room. If anyone has any suggestions on like something that I could have in this room that the player needs to grab or something, just let me know in the comments. I'm always listening. I need to fix that when I get a chance. That's gonna bother me. Yeah, let's before I do the nighttime version, let me show you a full view of the HVAC. So from top view, it looks like a bunch of Legos, and I love that. But this was made using a bunch of cubes and ProBuilder cylinders. Yeah, let me let you guys see this. So I had to look up many different images to figure out exactly how the ventilation system would be built, and it requires basically big boxes like these. With some of the times they had vents on top of them, sometimes they didn't. I chose one with the fan vents on top, and then you needed what do you call them? Pipes like these. I can't think of the word right now. I'm gonna call them pipes. But you needed them to have stuff like this right here, because on each image I saw there were pieces of metal sticking out between each section that was holding them together. And on some of these, like this is going to be a vent. I have a texture for a vent, like a box vent. I'm going to put one here. There should be one, not on here. I'll probably put some more. Yeah, actually, yeah, I'll definitely put some more, so that way it doesn't look so blank whenever you actually see the game being played. Here we are. It's supposed to be from this side. So yeah. I was originally wanting to make them kind of small, but then I thought to myself, if they're small, you're going to be able to see the other side. I want it to be where it's a maze. So that way it takes you a second to get from one side to the other. But you know what? Let's now show you Ooh, that's really bad. Have fun looking through that. So let's get, where is it? Fantasy, material, that number, and skybox. Now, let's see how the world would look. Yes, it's still going to blind your eyes because of the very bright texture, but it's going to look a lot better. I have a metallic texture that I'm going to use for the HVAC system. There's going to be a lot more detail to it. This is just the build thing because it took me so long to build it today and I'm already behind schedule. So yeah, actually at night it's a little bit easier to see. So you can kind of see more of the details, even though it's very simple square or cubes. There's going to, like I said, there's going to be a lot more detail when this is finished. So this is just for you to be able to see. Do a little walkthrough around. Made sure you wouldn't be able to get over around. I had to enlarge these. So this is going to be the fun part, because let's say there's something in here you have to grab. You grab it, and then the thing that's chasing after you comes from this spot right over here. Then you have to run. You have to run back without screwing up like I did. Oh, here's a vent you'd be able to see. Like I said, I'll add more, and then you just keep going, and then you have to start running until like this spot, and then he disappears. But I'll make it to where you can't come back up here because now you have to go back down. There's still a lot more to do. This is while we are on the home stretch of the building process, we are nowhere near done because I'm adding as much detail as possible to make sure that this comes out to be a pretty good, decent, prototype. Because this is a one person made game with someone who's more on the level design task other than game design. So yeah. Go back to scene, turn off fog. Back in scene. Boom. Back here. And there we go. So yeah, I can see my my view is different, but I can easily fix that. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Tomorrow the vents should be finished. Like the ventilation system will look a lot nicer, more metallic, with vents, fan textures, maybe a few stickers to make it look authentic. And then I'm gonna add some more detail on the roof area, like maybe some like boards or a box, you know, just like imagine like someone has been working up there recently, so there's like boxes or a toolbox or something, and then we'll move on into that final room and finally add detail to everything in the office, leading on to the world outside, and then finally adding some basic code, which is my one weakness and I'm not wanting to do. So hopefully I can figure something out for that. But until tomorrow's video, everyone have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to y'all later.